Coming up today on RMU-Live, the city of Pittsburgh is considered for Amazon's second headquarters. An update on the manhunt for a murderer of a University of Pittsburgh student. And a recap of last night's Pittsburgh Steelers game in Kansas City. All this and more coming up today on RMU-Live. Welcome to RMU-Live. Today is Monday, October 16, 2017. I'm Gage Golding.
And I'm Logan Carney. Here's what's happening now.
A 3-hour standoff in Grapeville, Westmoreland County ended Sunday afternoon after Brian Jones barricaded himself inside his duplex on Portland Street following an argument with his sister. Pennsylvania State Police found what they described to be a marijuana growing operation in an upstairs bedroom. Jones was taken to Westmoreland County Jail and is being charged with felony terroristic threats, recklessly endangering another person, and simple assault.
The 7th annual Pittsburgh International Airport Auction was held this Saturday with more than 1,000 people in attendance. The auction is for those hoping to grab lost and unclaimed items left behind at the airport. Items up for auction range from cars to headphones.
A 14-year-old boy was shot in Brighton Heights neighborhood of Pittsburgh Sunday. Police were called to the 3400 block of McClure Avenue at 3:15 p.m. on Sunday and found the child inside with a gunshot wound to the hip. The child was taken to Allegheny General Hospital and his condition is not known at this time. Another boy was injured in a drive-by shooting in the city's Rankin borough. Authorities were called to the Hawkins Village housing area around 3:30 a.m. Sunday morning. The 12-year-old child was taken to a nearby hospital and is listed in stable condition. Allegheny County detectives say that shots were fired from a dark-colored sport utility vehicle that fled from the scene.
Pittsburgh police closed off a block on the south side Saturday night to deal with a large fight that occurred during a Jimmy Wapo performance at Devils and Dolls nightclub. A man was believed to have been stabbed in the hand by a broken bottle. The incident took place around 1:45 a.m. Saturday in the 1700 block of East Carson.
Allegheny County Executive Ritz Fitzgerald met with Amazon officials in Seattle this past week regarding the possibilities of Pittsburgh being the home of Amazon's second headquarters. Fitzgerald declined to comment on the specifics of his agenda in Seattle, but did say the expansion could bring 50,000 jobs to the Pittsburgh area. The projected site is located in Pittsburgh's Hazelwood neighborhood and was home to the former Jones and Laughlin steel mill. Cities had the ability to submit applications to Amazon until October 17th. Amazon is expected to make a decision sometime next year. The Allegheny County Medical Examiner identified Wyatt Gaza as the victim of a shooting that took place Saturday. McKeesport police were called to the 1600 block of Jenny Lynch Street at 1:15 p.m. on Saturday for reports of shots fired. Gaza died at the scene, and another man who was driven to UPMC McKeesport in a private vehicle, Damian Ashley, was flown to a local trauma center and listed in stable condition.
A fire in Dormont yesterday left 2 people hospitalized and another killed. The family said the woman that passed away is named Harriet Stacy, but the coroner did not confirm any identities. One person is in the hospital for the burns while the other jumped out of a window. Friends have set up a GoFundMe account for the family. A former Shark Tank entrepreneur was identified as the body that was found in the Philadelphia River on Thursday. Police say 58-year-old Philip Ritnor created the company, Emergency. Emergency was a security company featured in the 6th season of the show. Philip Ritnor's body had a gunshot wound in his head, but police have not determined the cause of death for the victim.
The killer of a 20-year-old University of Pittsburgh student has been taken into custody. Here's an update from Oakland. A University of Pittsburgh student, 20-year-old Elena Shiquette, was killed in her Oakland apartment here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 21-year-old Matthew Darby was arrested in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina on October 12th after attempting to break into somebody's home. Darby is already facing rape charges in a separate case earlier this year in Indiana County. Now a 17-year-old female and her mother came to police in Elizabeth in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, claiming that Darby raped her just days before he killed Elena Shiquette here in Oakland. Pittsburgh police report that Darby entered Chiquette's home on Cable Place in Oakland through a basement window where he took a hammer and knives, which he later used to kill Chiquette. Pittsburgh police recovered a hammer and 2 knives from the sewer grate at Semple in Urey Street. Police do have to drive to South Carolina to bring Darby to Pittsburgh to face charges related to this murder. But first, Darby has to face charges of loitering and suspicious activity in South Carolina before he can be brought to Pittsburgh. Reporting in Oakland, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Gage Golding, RMU Century Media. Thankfully, police were able to track down Darby. And for more updates and coverage around the Pittsburgh area and Robert Morris University, be sure to visit RMUCenturyMedia.com.
After months of construction, the Greenfield Bridge finally opened to the public at 9:30 p.m. on Saturday. The people that live near the bridge had a party and ribbon-cutting ceremony to celebrate the bridge opening. The old bridge started falling apart 2 years ago to the point that they had to build a bridge under that to catch rocks from falling. The new bridge is expected to last around 100 years. A trailer in Morgantown was caught on fire while it was crossing the Cheat Lake Bridge, on Sunday afternoon. Officials claim to have heard explosion sounds, but the cause of fire is still unknown. Luckily, there were no injuries reported.
Schools within the Bethel Park School District are closed today following threats made against the district. Classes were canceled last Thursday for the same threats made against the school. Officials sent a letter home to parents and are calling the threats not credible, but are taking precautions. Both threats were written. Coming up on RMU Live, we get an update on the investigation into Harvey Weinstein.
And Colin Kaepernick is suing the NFL. Find out why coming up.
On November 3rd in Hopwood Auditorium, Robert Morris University, join me, Don Luisi, for Bringing the Blues to RMU. This is a live event featuring Pittsburgh's Queen of the Blues, Jill West, and Blues Attack. Along with a screening of Blues Chronicles from the Berg, 3 short documentary profiles of Pittsburgh blues legends Eugene Morgan, Bill Weiner, and Jill West. This tribute to the blues is sponsored by the Blues Society of Western Pennsylvania, the Academic Media Center, and RMU Radio. That's Bringing the Blues to RMU. Friday, November 3rd at 5 p.m., Hopwood Auditorium, Robert Morris University. Admission is free to the public.
Everything starts out small. The things that hurt us, they all start from somewhere. The words we say, the things we do, they can grow into something else. What was small and innocent can become big and sometimes scary. All it takes is one comment, one picture, one video for something to catch fire. But a big problem doesn't need a big response. Not at first. Even if we don't know what to say, the eye emoji can be that first step we take. Let's all pledge to take that first small step together and change the world in a big way. I'm a witness, and so are you.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
A flight was aborted on an Air Asia airline airplane this past weekend while traveling from Australia to Dolly. The aircraft lost cabin pressure only 25 minutes after takeoff. They then descended 24,000 feet in just 9 minutes. The crew is being blamed for causing more panic as they were allegedly screaming and crying while the plane fell. None of the passengers were injured, and they were immediately put on the next flight out. A platform exploded in Lake Pontchartrain Louisiana on Sunday evening near St. Charles Parish in North Kenner. According to Kenner Police Department spokesman Sergeant Brian McGregor, 7 people are injured after the blast. 5 are in critical condition, while 2 others are in stable condition. The Coast Guard and the Lake Point Chartian Basin Foundation will both conduct water quality evaluations. Authorities acknowledged there was a possibility that the fire meant oil could be leaking into the lake.
President Donald Trump and his campaign was served a subpoena regarding the president inappropriately groping a woman. The subpoena was filed in March but did not enter courts until last month. The White House or Trump's lawyer declined to comment on the allegations. Former San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick has filed a grievance under the collective bargaining agreement against the National Football League team owners. Kaepernick has hired powerful attorney Mark Garagos to represent him in the case. Kaepernick has been unemployed since 2016 when he opted out of his contract with the 49ers amidst his protest of the national anthem. Kaepernick is expected to release a statement this week.
A vehicle collided with a train in Aspinwall, according to Norfolk Southern officials. The eastbound Norfolk Southern mixed freight train was on its way to Allentown, Pennsylvania, when a vehicle attempted to cross the train tracks in front of the train at the Water Street grade crossing. It was then that the two collided. None of the parties involved suffered life-threatening injuries.
British actress Lisette Anthony says that film producer and founder of the mega film company, the Weinstein Company, Harvey Weinstein, of attacking her in her home in the 80s. Another unidentified victim came to the surface and claims that Weinstein raped her in 1992. The board of the Weinstein Company voted to fire Harvey Weinstein as the allegations came to light. More than 10,000 firefighters are battling 16 fires that are destroying parts of California. More than 100,000 residents have been displaced and neighborhoods have been burned to ash. At least 13 Napa Valley wineries are among the victims of the wildfires that have been burning for weeks.
2 questions on Detroit's polls will be added on the November 7th election. Both will be about the legalization of marijuana. The questions will impact some of the regulations the city put on marijuana facilities. These were put on the ballot via petition run by citizens for sensible cannabis reform. Social Security Administration announced on Friday that Social Security recipients and retirees will receive a 2% increase in benefits this year. This is the largest increase since 2012, coming to $25 a month for the average beneficiary. Cost of living adjustments affects about 1 in 5 Americans. And if you're interested in watching more RMU TV, be sure to check out our whole show lineup throughout the week.
When we come back, we take a look at the Steelers game yesterday.
And we head to Chief Weather Forecaster Morgan Nagel with the weather for today and this upcoming week.
Oh, emojis! I thought the conversation just got dumber.
Ugh, internet trolls, just ignore them.
I like you just the way you are.
I believe in you! She's a hugger. Give her a squeeze.
Help up the hand.
Ah, there you go.
Thanks, mate.
You're killing it, Jane!
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Want to help in the aftermath of a hurricane? Together, you and I can really help. I am fast and versatile. I can be whatever is needed. To help you provide important relief when it's most critical. If you want to lend a hand, I can help you reach out and truly touch lives. Even a small donation can make a big difference.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Tonight
Gulf Coast utter devastation. Harvey barrels ashore overnight, packing 130-mile-an-hour winds, blinding sheets of rain, and a treacherous storm surge.
Harvey can't mess with Texas. So donate now to help make Texas whole again.
Welcome back to RMU-Live. Here's the latest updates in the world of sports. The Steelers were away this week and took on the previously undefeated Kansas City Chiefs. The Steelers dominated the game from the defensive side as they didn't give up a first down to one of the league's best offenses till there was about 2 minutes left in the half. The final score was 19-13. Le'Veon Bell had his best game of the season as he tallied 179 yards and a touchdown on 32 carries. Antonio Brown had 155 yards on 8 catches and a touchdown. Ben Roethlisberger threw for only 1 touchdown and had another interception, but was also 17 for 25 and threw for 252 yards. The Steelers defense shut down the Kansas City run game as the league-leading rusher and Kareem Hunt finished the day with just 21 yards total. Their next game is against the Bengals. One player who did not have a good game was Martavis Bryant. News leaked to Ian Rappaport after the game that Martavis Bryant requested a trade from the Steelers back in Week 5 after being unhappy about playing time. Bryant responded by tweeting, quote, "Big win today and tomorrow. Right back to work tomorrow. I am happy to be a Steeler and can't wait to reach number 7 this year." End quote. Speaking of that, reaching number 7, the Steelers are currently on the right track as they lead the AFC North. We'll take a look at the standings here. The Steelers are in first with 4 wins and 2 losses. The Ravens stand in second with a .500 record of 3-3. They also lose a tiebreaker with the Steelers. The Bengals are in third with 2 wins and 3 losses. And finally, the Browns are in last and are still winless on the season. Sticking with Pittsburgh sports, the Pittsburgh Penguins grabbed their 3rd win on the season with a 4-3 victory over the Florida Panthers. The Sidney Crosby scored 2 goals in the game. Greg McCraig scored his first goal of the season, and Patrick Hornquist scored the other Penguin goal. Robert Morris football started NEC play this past Saturday after they took on rival Duquesne Dukes at Joe Walton Stadium. The game was a one-sided affair, to say the least. Robert Morris scored first and took a 7-0 lead. After that, the game was all Duquesne as they scored 51 unanswered points. The final score was 51-14. Drew Allen had an interception return for a touchdown for the Colonials in the game. The Pittsburgh Panthers took on number 24 NC State this past Saturday for their homecoming celebration. The Panthers jumped out to a lead early but fell to the Wolfpack by a score of 35-17. The Panthers sit 2-5 on the year and currently winless in ACC play. Their next game will be against the Duke Blue Devils. Penn State was off this past week and will take on Michigan this upcoming week. West Virginia improved to 4-2 on the year as they defeated Texas Tech by a score of 46-35. They now sit 2-1 on the year in the Big 12, which is second in the conference. Their next game will be against Baylor. That's what happened in the sports world. Now I'm sending it to Morgan with the weather.
Thank you, Logan. I think everyone can agree today has been the perfect fall day. Woke up this morning and you needed your rain jacket and your umbrella because of the rainy conditions. And then as the day went on, the sun came out and the temperature of 55 degrees still stuck. And with the wind, it was still pretty chilly. But with the sun, it was amazing. With a high of 56 and then with a low of 37 and a humidity of 59%, tomorrow we can expect similar conditions with a high of 62, a low of 42, and humidity of 53%. And then for the rest of the week, we can be expecting some higher temperatures with highs in the low 70s to mid 70s and the sun out all week long. That's it for today's weather. Back to you, Gage and Logan.
Well, that's all we have for RMU Live this afternoon, Logan.
We will see you next week.